Good morning, this is Jack from Charting Markets, and this is the pre-market webinar for the morning of Wednesday, the 12th of November. My disclaimer, I do this for educational purposes only. I'm here to share my technical analysis with you. I hope you can take some of what I'm doing, learn from it, transfer it to your own charts. I'm not here to issue trading signals. This is a video for paying subscribers at chartingthemarkets.substack.com. It's published on YouTube after a delay of 24 hours. All right, let's have a look at ES. Now, ES, we saw a bit more of a move up yesterday. We do not have an obvious reversal pattern here, but that's not saying we can't reach a retest of the high, but it's suggesting that we might be looking for potentially another leg down, which could, of course, get us to this main big support and target area. Looking at NQ rather, arguably, one could make an argument for an IHS here, but I don't think it quite reaches the quality test and is arguably significantly too large. So I've not drawn one in either. Again, this could reach a retest of the high, but it's interesting to see that NQ has not yet recovered to the degree that ES has. It has recovered more than RTY, but it's recovered a lot less than Dow. Dow has been pretty. In fact, I've seen Dow got so close to a retracement of the back to the all-time high yesterday. I actually saw a couple of people posting that it had made it, which it didn't quite, but it almost did. It's and there's a pretty good chance it's going to make it today. Not quite there on YM, not quite there on Inda yet, or Dia either, but obviously getting very close. But it's interesting that it's outperforming tech considerably. So this rally is not. Most of this move up was about tech. Most of this rally so far is not. Looking at no current negative divergence on both of those so far. RTY, I've got a pretty decent looking IHS, which since I capped it earlier, is now starting to break up. Let's just do the arrows for that quickly. This is very much of an appropriate size. So it is not. Because ideally, this is in the area of about half of the preceding decline. So one can easily measure it with the arrow, and you can see that that gets us back almost exactly to the high. So we've now got that breaking up, and that strengthens the position to get back to the high. Although we are testing, of course, the monthly pivot, which has been pretty good resistance so far. So here we've got an inflection point. YM, very close to a retest of the highs, and probably going to get there. DAX has also broken up from a double bottom with a target at a retest of the highs. On ESTX, we've already made the retest of the highs already. We had a sell signal here that failed, and we've continued higher. We're in fairly rarefied territory on the RSI, as we are with DAX, with both of those over 80. But that's not to say that they can't go up considerably more. All right, let's have a look at the bigger picture on those, and let's have a look at now on the daily middle bands. Obviously, we've had the break above, and we've had the confirmation close above. So really, a retest of the all-time high from here is a very credible target. Looking at SPX, it looks exactly the same. No negative divergence apart from the existing RSI 14 sell signals across the board. Looking at the hourly chart, this is obviously we've got the wedge. It's broken down. I'm looking for a top to form, and if we're not making it down to this possible IHS neckline, head and shoulder neckline, which we've got down here, then the obvious thing to see is a retest of the high. So I'm watching for that. Looking at Qs, again, break above, retest, not with as much conviction as the others. Looking at the hourly chart, however, retest of the high still looks very much on the table. No obvious reversal pattern, which is a weakness. Looking at Dow, we've got almost a retest of the high yesterday, and I was looking at the main industrials chart. Yesterday, the high was 47,974, and this high here was, well, visibly a little higher than that. So we haven't quite made it back to the retest of the highs on any of these, but we're getting very close on the hourly chart. No current negative divergence, starting to look a bit overbought, but I'm thinking there's a very good chance we're going to see a retest of the high well, I think we're almost certain to see it on Dia. I think it's very high chance we're going to see it on SPX. I'm a little more doubtful about the other two. But let's have a look at IWM. IWM, we have a obviously we saw a break up which almost got us to the daily middle band, but at the moment that is still holding and we're still below it. It could fail there, so we will see. Do we have a nice looking bull flag set up here? Yes, we do. So that is suggesting a retest this high here, but we still need to get over some resistance, and we haven't managed to do that yet. We will see how that goes. Could this be a bull flag from the high? It's not quite from the high, but yes. So I am thinking we might manage that. That could do some damage to the overall rising wedges if we actually reach that target. Looking at DAX, DAX closed yesterday still testing the daily middle band, but it should gap above it today. This could be the start of a break to retest the all-time high at 24.8k, and Nikkei is bouncing off the daily middle band, and again, a retest of the high is very much on the cards. We've got a daily RSI 14 sell signal fixed there, and it's a full-sized, very decent-looking one. All right, let's have a look at DX. DX, we've got a pretty clear bull flag falling wedge, and that's broken up. I'm expecting to see a retest this high, and we're in a big inflection point here where we're just under, well, we've actually started breaking up over on the daily chart, the double bottom resistance, which could get us up into the 104 area. I really like that target, although there is an alternate setup to take us back to the lows, but I think really it's going to be one or the other, and I'm leaning towards the move up. ZB, we've got a little double bottom here, which is broken up with a target in the 118.18 area. I'm liking that target. But we still got to get over the weekly pivot at 117.29. CL, we've got what looks like a bull flag which is broken up. But hang on, I'm just going to examine one other possibility here. Has this initial wedge turned into a channel? I don't think so. No, not even close. All right, so this looks like a bull flag that's broken up. My mild concerns about it making target are that HOs start to look pretty toppy, and RBOB is similarly also looking a bit toppy. So, and we've got these rising wedges which are restricting further move to the upside. Nonetheless, it's doable, but I have some doubts as to whether it's going to deliver. Let's have a look at NG, where the last 60-minute sell signal made the possible near miss target. We've got another 60-minute sell signal fixed. We've got a possible double top set up here, and I'm wondering about a larger move down. We may have reached our seasonal high. Did we make it quite to our the target I was talking about in the 4.7 area? I think may have done on the spot price. I'll have a better idea tonight. Oh, by the way, I didn't do the bigger picture webinar this morning. I'm going to be doing it tonight instead. All right, looking at GC. GC, we've got head and shoulders, which is broken down here, and we're pretty close to that failing. The silver one has already failed. So to fail, it needs to get over this line here. So we're pretty close to that, but we haven't quite made it yet. Looking at silver, silver has already broken up over it, and we broke up from an alternate IHS, and actually that's getting pretty close to the target in the 52.35 area. We do have a 60-minute sell signal fixed. On palladium, we have the same head and shoulder setup that could be failing, but we're further away from the target, which is there. We need to get over that level for the head and shoulders to fail. We've got a weak 60-minute sell signal fixed. Platinum, this still looks like a bear flag forming. HG, maybe breaking back up towards a retest of the high. No obvious pattern to get it there. There is a possible IHS here, but really I think it's too large, so I'm not counting it as an IHS. But I'm thinking we may well see a retest of this high here. That would be disappointing because we already had a nice looking level top here, which could break down directly. Looking at the other currencies, not a lot to see apart from USD JPY. Nice looking little double top here, which I'm wondering whether it's going to break up, obviously, because this is positively correlated with the dollar and it's breaking up, but I've been watching it. USD CAD, this has been strangely still the last couple of days, but this is a potential level bottom, and I'm thinking this may be heading back up to these highs with the dollar. Not a lot else to see on the others. KC, we got a potential little level top here. We could see a fall back down to a retest of this low, slightly oversized. SB, nice looking double bottom, been trading sideways for days, but it's still, as a result, it's still a nice looking double bottom. It just hasn't delivered anything yet. Looking at SCC, we had a little buy signal here that failed, and that's not too much of a surprise. This is a likely bull flag, and it's broken down with a target at a retest of this low here in the 5700 area. Not seeing any reason to think it won't make that target. CT has broken down with a target at a retest of this low here, and I've got that in about the 62-65 area. Not seeing any reason to think that won't make target. On lumber, we've already retested the low. We've got a potential level bottom here, but I'm leaning towards seeing a move down. Might see a bit of a rally first, though. We do have a 60-minute buy signal fixed. On wheat, we had an IHS break up here, and it's almost entirely failed back to the low, but it has already failed, though. So I'm expecting to see a retest of the low. Could be the second low of a double bottom when we get there. On corn, we had a double bottom breakdown. It's likely failing, and this looks like a bull flag forming. And if we was to draw the bull flag in here, hang on, wait a second, it would look like this. So I think this is a fairly high probability for bull flag forming. Let's have a look and see the support trend line. Okay, that's less certain, but it's a nice looking resistance trend line, and this looks like, and the way it's forming, and this looks like a flag. ZS likely fading back into this high, could be the second high of a double top when we get there. ZL, this looks like a bear flag, and we've got a 60-minute sell signal fixed, so I'm waiting to see if we are going to see a retest of this low. Live cattle, possible bottoming action here, not really formed a clear pattern yet. HE, we saw got a falling wedge, it's broken up, and I'm looking for a reversal pattern. We could go a little higher and get to an IHS neckline, or possibly form that right shoulder directly from here, or we could go back and retest the low to do that instead. All right, great. Let's have a quick look at questions. All right, my pleasure as always, guys. Everyone take care, and I'll catch you guys tomorrow morning.